Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذا طلقتم النساء فبلغن أجلهن فلا تعضلوهن أن ينكحن أزواجهن إذا تراضوا بينهم بالمعروف ذلك يوعظ به من كان منكم يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ذلكم أزكى لكم وأطهر والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون صدق الله مولانا العلي العظيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد معدن الجود والكرم وآله وصحبه وبارك وسلم اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت يا حي يا قيوم تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا سهلا اللهم يا كريم أكرمنا بنور الفهم وأخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. So last week we completed the tafsir of verse number 231 from Surah Al-Baqarah, and now we commence the tafsir of verse number 232 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah Rabbul Izzat irshad फरमाता है और जब तुम औरतों को तलाक दो और उनकी इद्दत की मुद्दत पूरी हो जाए तो ए औरतों के वालियों उन्हें अपने शौहरों से निकाह करने से न रोको जबकि आपस में शरीयत के मुवाफिक रज़ामंद हो जाएं। ये नसीहत उसे दी जाती है जो तुम में से अल्लाह और क़ियामत पर ईमान रखता हो। ये तुम्हारे लिए ज़्यादा सुथरा और पाकीज़ा काम है और अल्लाह जानता है और तुम नहीं जानते। So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in this verse 232 of Al-Qur'an Al-Karim of Surah Al-Baqarah that when you divorce women and they have completed their waiting term, do not hinder them from marrying other men if they have agreed to this in a fair manner. That is an admonition to every one of you who believes in Allah and the last day. That is a cleaner and a purer way for you, for Allah knows whereas you do not know. तो यहाँ पर इस आयत का खुलासा ये है कि जब किसी औरत की इद्दत गुज़र जाए और इद्दत के बाद वो औरत किसी से निकाह का इरादा करे, खा वो कोई नया आदमी हो या ख़ुद वो पहले वाले शौहर के साथ, यानी ज़ाहिर सी बात ये तलाक़ रजी की बात हो रही है, जिसने तलाक़ रजी दी थी, तो अगर वो मर्द और औरत बाहम रज़ामंद हैं तो औरत के सरपरस्तों को बिला वजह मना करने का हक़ नहीं है. Okay? So this is a directive to the relatives of the divorced woman, that when the woman is divorced by her husband and he fails to revoke the divorce before the termination of the waiting period, before the iddah, then the relatives of the woman should not try to prevent the couple from remarrying if they agree to do so, or if that woman intends to marry someone else, they should not stop her from doing so. Obviously, what divorce are we talking about here? We are obviously talking about talaq raji, the revocable divorce, because in irrevocable divorce, obviously there's no revocation. You can't take that back. We explained that last week. And another meaning that the Mufassirun mention about this is that if the woman wants to contract marriage with someone other than her former husband, after the termination of the waiting period, the former husband should not obstruct this marriage, by making malicious propaganda against the woman he has forsaken. This unfortunately happens, and from both sides, after separation, both sides are engaged in a malicious propaganda, maligning each other's character, character defamation, and subhanallah, lying, and making things difficult. Okay, we should not do that. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. ذَلِكُمْ أَزْكَى لَكُمْ وَأَطْهَرُ. That is more clean, that is cleaner and more pure for you. Because sometimes what happens is, बहुत दफ़ा ऐसा होता है कि अगर तलाक शुदा औरत को उनके रिश्तेदार या उनके सरपरस्त या वालिदैन हो या कोई भी हो, उनको उस औरत को अगर निकाह से रोकते हैं तो बाज़ दफ़ा औरतें गलत कदम भी उठा लेती हैं, जिसकी वजह से पूरे ख़ानदान की नाक कट जाती है, फिर वो हाय अफसोसी करते रहते हैं. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions. It is within the fitrah of a human being to marry. Okay? And therefore, unnecessary hurdles should not be put in the way of both men and women to get married. Okay? And if they do, then obviously there are, significant ramifications, consequences of that. And at times what happens is, for example, a divorced woman, if she is held back from marrying, there's this taboo thing within our culture, a divorced woman marrying or a divorced man marrying. There's no harm in that whatsoever. Okay, we have many examples from the Salaf and from the life of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallama. And therefore, we must ensure that whatever we do is defined by the legal framework of Sharia, and that we do not take a step because of which it will jeopardize the life and the iman and the chastity of either the man or the woman. And again, at this point, I would also like to mention here, with parents, वालिदैन की भी जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि जब उनकी औलाद, उनके बेटे या उनकी बेटियां शादी की उम्र को पहुंच जाए. शादी की उम्र से मुराद ये नहीं कि 30 or 40 whatever, we say mature. When they mature enough and subhanallah they understand the right from the wrong, they are financially able to माली तौर पर वो मदद कर सकते हैं, तो फिर शादी कराने में जल्दी करनी चाहिए. ये ज़माना फितनों का ज़माना है, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our children. Many a times what happens is the parents are delaying it unnecessarily. The children want to get married, but the parents are delaying, and at the same time the parents want to marry off their children, but the children are procrastinating. Let me get a job, let me buy a nice house, let me go to Hajj, let me do this, let me open a business, and let me do X, Y, and Z. This X, Y, and Z never finishes, and then they end up in illicit relationships, committing haram. وَلَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ الْعَلِيِّ. This is why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, يَا مَعْشَرَ الشَّبَابِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ مِنْكُمُ الْبَاءَةَ فَلْيَتَزَوَّجْ فَإِنَّهُ أَغَضُّ لِلْبَصَرِ وَأَحْسَنُ الْفَرْجِ وَمَنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَعَلَيْهِ بِالصَّوْمِ فَإِنَّهُ لَهُ وِجَاءٌ أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. Oh, group of young men, whomsoever from amongst you has the financial capacity, ability to look after the family and meet their expenses, then they should get married. Because getting married will أغض للبصر, it will restrain the gaze from looking at that which is haram. وأحسن الفرج حسن, يعني it will protect the privates, it will protect one's modesty, one's chastity. Anyone who is unable to do so, then they should fast. जिस किसी शख्स के पास माली उसकी हैसियत इतनी नहीं है कि वो भी निकाह कर सकता है, तो और ख्वाहिशात उसकी ऐसी है कि अगर नहीं करेगा तो गुनाह में पड़ जाएगा, तो नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम उसका नुस्खा ये फरमाया कि रोज़े रखे, क्योंकि रोज़ा ढाल है। रोज़ा, fasting, a sawm, فَإِنَّهُ لَهُ وِجَاء, is a shield that will protect him from or her from committing haram. When we fast, you can understand it now as we are fasting in the blessed month of Ramadan. Subhanallah, all ways in which Satan can influence us has been stopped. Obviously, on top of that, shayateen have been tied in shackles, have been shackled, and chained. And so in itself, as the Prophet ﷺ has said, "Inna shaytan yajri min al-insani majra ad-dam." Indeed, Satan circulates around the body like blood circulates around the body. So stop the way in which Satan can influence you by keeping fast. When we keep fast, we suppress our desires. We will not, these evil thoughts will not enter our mind. Okay? So this is the notion, this is the prescription that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave for all of us, and this is a lesson for all of us, inshallah. We should not delay. Okay, the earlier the better. And the earlier the better, what I mean is the earlier, when you mature enough, you mentally and prepared to understand the responsibilities, and inshallah, obviously you've got the financial capacity, means to look after the family. Financial capacity doesn't mean that you are on a 6-figure salary. That is all absolute nonsense. Okay, and such marriages, obviously we don't. I'm not gonna. I spoke about this, but simplicity is the key. Okay, simplicity. Obviously, BJ always talks about austerity measures. So let's talk about austerity here as well. Anyhow, so this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in this verse 232 of Surah Al-Baqarah, that when the waiting period is over, then the relatives of the woman should not unnecessarily cause obstructions. And in another verse of this, in another commentary of this verse, it means that the former husband himself should not make malicious propaganda against the woman of any sort, so as to prevent her from marrying someone else. Anyhow, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states, وَالْوَالِدَاتُ يُرْضِعْنَ أَوْلَادَهُنَّ حَوْلَيْنِ كَامِلَيْنِ لِمَنْ أَرَادَ أَنْ يُتِمَّ الرَّضَاعَةَ وَعَلَى الْمَوْلُودِ لَهُ رِزْقُهُنَّ وَكِسْوَتُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ لَا تُكَلَّفُ نَفْسٌ إِلَّا وُسْعَهَا لا تضار والدة بولدها ولا مولود له بولده وعلى الوارث مثل ذلك فإن أرادا فصالا عن تراض منهما وتشاور فلا جناح عليهما وإن أردتم أن تسترضعوا أولادكم فلا جناح عليكم إذا سلمتم ما آتيتم بالمعروف واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله بما تعملون بصير. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala इरशाद फरमाता है, और माएँ अपने बच्चों को पूरे 2 साल दूध पिलाएं। ये हुक्म उसके लिए है जो दूध पिलाने की मुद्दत पूरी करना चाहे। और बच्चे के बाप पर रवाज के मुताबिक औरतों के खाने और पहनने की जिम्मेदारी है। किसी जान पर उतना ही बोझ रखा जाएगा जितनी उसकी ताकत हो। माँ को उसकी औलाद की वजह से तकलीफ़ न दी जाए और न बाप को उसकी औलाद की वजह से तकलीफ़ दी जाए। और जो बाप का कायम मकान है उस पर भी ऐसा ही हुक्म है। फिर अगर माँ बाप दोनों आपस की रज़ामंदी और मशवरे से दूध छुड़ाना चाहें तो उन पर गुनाह नहीं। और अगर तुम चाहो कि दूसरी औरतों से अपने बच्चों को दूध पिलवाओ तो भी तुम पर कोई मुज़ायक़ा नहीं, जबकि जो मुआवज़ा देना तुमने मुकर्रर किया हो वो भलाई के साथ अदा कर दो। और अल्लाह से डरते रहो और जान रखो कि अल्लाह तुम्हारे हर काम को देख रहा है। So in verse number 233, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, If they, i.e. the fathers, wish that the period of suckling for their children be completed, then mothers may suckle their children for 2 whole years. We're not talking about cow and gate here. We're talking about the natural milk that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has miraculously given the mothers. As soon as the child is born, miraculously, subhanallah, this milk, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them as an amana to them. And obviously pediatricians and nurses, they are pushing for mothers to suckle their children on their own milk and not to suffice on powdered milk and whatnot, because obviously there are many benefits, mental and scientific and physical benefits. The physical development is stronger, mentally more stable, subhanallah, and obviously this is in the Quran Sharif itself. So we should try and inshallah do that, if obviously there's no other underlying problems. Anyhow, in such a case, it is incumbent upon him who has begotten the child to provide them, i.e. the divorced women, their sustenance and clothing in a fair manner. Rizquhunna wa kiswatuhunna bil ma'ruf. Divorced women who are still suckling the child, then obviously it is the responsibility of the husband who is pronounced the divorce to maintain the woman and the child in that waiting period. But none shall be burdened with more than he is able to bear. Neither shall a mother suffer because of a child, nor shall the father be made to suffer because he has begotten him. The same duty towards the suckling mother rests upon the heir as upon him, i.e. the father. And if both the parents decide, agar maa baap dono decide by mutual consent and consultation to wean the child off the milk, then there is no blame on them. If you decide to have other women suckle your children, to foster your children, there is no blame upon you, provided that you hand over its remuneration, compensation in a fair manner. Fear Allah and know well that Allah sees all that you do. So here the rulings of suckling the child have been mentioned. This in particular, obviously, after the mother is divorced. What is the ruling? How long is the period? And who will provide for the child? Etc. 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 So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if the father wants to have the full period of suckling completed, then the maximum is 2 years. The maximum that a mother is allowed to suckle the child, in other words, of his breastfeed her child, it is a maximum of 2 years. After 2 years, the mother is not permitted to suckle the child. Okay? However, having said this, hurmatul rada'a, the hurma, the sanctity that is established because of fostering, the hurma. And something become haram because of fostering, because obviously you have hurma because of nasab, hurmatul musahara, hurmatul rada'a. Hurmatul rada'a will be established until the child is even 2.5 years. So even after two years, before the child reaches 2.5 years, if anyone suckled that child with her own milk, obviously it's always her, just to clarify that point, because nowadays unfortunately it's getting confused. People are getting confused and there are subhanallah, nonsensical reports out there saying that even men can ride on a cycle. The other cycle I'm talking about. Astaghfirullah al-azim. So, subhanallah. So even after the child surpasses the age of 2, and it should not happen, someone of the mother, any foster mother, suckled the child, and the child was less than 2.5 years of age, then hurmatul rada'a will be established. The hurma relation because of fostering will be established, and therefore this mother, if it's obviously his own mother, and obviously his own biological mother, that's obviously hurma in itself. If it's another woman, then obviously she will become the foster mother, and her sons will also become the step brothers and sisters, and obviously there's a hurma that is established between them. You can read the books of fiqh for detail in relation to that. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentioned, لا تضار والدة بولدها. Neither shall a mother be made to suffer because of her child. Okay, what does it mean? Yani you can't force the mother to suckle the child. Okay, yani माँ को ज़रूरत देना ये है कि जिस सूरत में उस पर दूध पिलाना ज़रूर नहीं, उसमें उसे दूध पिलाने पर मजबूर किया जाए. You can't force the mother to suckle the child. Okay, this is najais, this is impermissible. And it also means that the mother should not harm the child by not feeding him. When she does have the capacity to feed the child with her own milk, or she has got the means to do so, then she should not harm the child by not feeding. This is what the Mufassirun have mentioned here. وَلَا مَوْلُودٌ لَهُ بِوَلَدِهِ. And the father, مَوْلُودٌ لَهُ, yani जिसके लिए बेटा पैदा हो, जिसका बेटा पैदा हुआ हो. Okay, yani baap, mauludul lahu, the born child for him. Lahu is a masculine dhamir, obviously referring to the father. The father will not be harmed on account of the child. Yani you can't task the father with more than what he can bear. Bichara, he's got minimal wage, and you are demanding him to do more than what he can bear. This is not permissible. Or to take a child away from his mother, or violate the rights of the mother whereby the child is put to risk or harm. This is also what is meant here. Okay. Another point that I would like to mention here is this, that whether the mother is divorced or not, it is incumbent on her to feed the child, provide for the child in the conditions when the father cannot find anyone else. So if the father cannot find anyone else, or if the father cannot afford to pay any foster mother to suckle the child, or if the child doesn't accept anyone else's milk, then it becomes wajib, necessary upon the mother to feed the child. Other than that, if these conditions are not found, yani the father can provide for another foster mother to suckle the child, and the child does accept another woman's milk, then this suckling the child from the mother's side is not wajib, it is mustab, and alhamdulillah, all of our mothers do that. Allah bless them all, and grant all of us barakah, inshallah azza wa jal. Point number 2, it is not necessary to complete full 2 years if the child does not require or no harm. Rather, what they say, because obviously the maximum is 2 years, you rather wean the child off milk, a couple of months before. Okay, so the child doesn't demand, doesn't have tantrums when milk is not given. So this is the way, obviously, to wean off the child prior to 2 years. Point number 3, nurturing the child and ensuring the child is suckled is incumbent on the father. It is the father's responsibility. ये बाप की जिम्मेदारी है बच्चों की परवरिश करना, बच्चों की देखभाल करना, बच्चों के लिए जो है माली इमदाद करना, उनकी सही तौर पर नशोनुमा करना, ये बाप की जिम्मेदारी है, obviously. And another point here is obviously the husband cannot force his wife to suckle the child. Point number 5, if the husband has divorced his wife, then upon the termination of the waiting period, his ex-wife can demand wage for suckling the child. If she is still suckling the child, then she can demand the wage maintenance for suckling the child. And meeting all the expenses of the child and providing for the child, as I said to you before, is the responsibility of the father, not the mother. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ar-rijalu qawwamuna ala nisa. Okay, why are men qawwamuna ala nisa? Because it is their responsibility to go out and earn. It is their responsibility to bring the halal income in. Not that they sit watching TV and flicking channels going on Netflix and then subhanAllah watching 1 series and 2 series with 40, 60 videos and then just sitting there eating popcorn and expecting the mother to do, the wife to do everything. This is not right. And again, at the same time, obviously I need to balance everything here. It doesn't mean that the father does everything. Father goes out to work and then subhanallah is looking after the child, is doing this, X, Y, and Z. Both need to mutually take a part and both need to understand their responsibilities, okay? It is only when there's mutual understanding will there be harmony in our marital lives. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant barakah in our marital lives and grant us aman and aman and mawaddah and rahmah, inshallah. Another point that we understand, इस आयत करीमा में एक और जो बात है वो हम इस आयत से क्या मालूम होता है कि बच्चे का जो नसब है, नसब यानी जो लिनिएज इसको कहा जाता है, ये बाप की तरफ शुमार किया जाता है, क्योंकि अल्लाह ताला ने फरमाया मौलूदुन लहू। तो यहाँ लहू जो है ये ضمير majrur, obviously I don't want to go into technical, it's not मौलूदुन लहू, it's not मौलूदुन लहा, ये मुज़क्कर की ज़मीर है न कि मुअन्नस की ज़मीर। तो इससे पता चला कि औलाद का नसब बाप की तरफ, औलाद जो है बाप की तरफ मंसूब होंगे, यानी इनका नसब बाप की तरफ से चलेगा। इसीलिए अगर बाप सैयद हो, वालिद बुजुर्गवार सैयद हो और माँ सैयदानी न हो यानी गैर सैयद हो, तो बच्चा सैयद है। So if the father is a sayyid from the Sadat, what we mean by Sadat, obviously what you need to understand here, Sayyid, this is a specific term that refers to the descendants of Sayyiduna Ali karramallahu wajhul kareem from Khatun al-Jannat Sayyiduna Fatimah az-Zahra radiyallahu ta'ala anha. Only they are conventionally known in the Indo-Pak subcontinent as Sadat, Sayyid or Sadat. In the Arab world, you call them Shurafa. There's other terms, beautiful names that they Shurafa, I mean nobles. You know, the Shurafa, the Sharif, the Shurafa. Sharif is singular, Shurafa plural. So if the father is a Sayyid and the mother is a non-Sayyid, then the children will all be classed as Sayyid, mashallah. The lineage of the Prophet will continue, subhanallah, from them. If the, however, agar baap गैर सैयद हो और माँ सैयदानी हो, तो बच्चा गैर सैयद ही शुमार होगा. So we must be careful about, how we refer to people. We can't just tag everyone as a sayyid. We need to understand this is from the mufassirun and the ulama of the Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. If you ask for references, inshallah, we are able to provide you with these references, inshallah azza wa jal. So if the father is a non-sayyid but the mother is a sayyid, children will be regarded as non-sayyid, and obviously all the other ahkamat will then apply. Will the children be allowed to accept zakat or not, etc., etc., based on what I've just mentioned. फिर उसके बाद अल्लाह रब्बुल इज़्ज़त इरशाद फरमाता है, वल्लज़ीन युतवफ़्फ़ौन मिनकुम वयज़रून अज़वाजन यतरब्बस्न बिअन्फुसिहिन्न अर्बअत अशहुरिन वअश्रा فإذا بلغن أجلهن فلا جناح عليكم فيما فعلن في أنفسهن بالمعروف والله بما تعملون خبير. और तुम में से जो मर जाएं और बीवियां छोड़ें, तो वो बीवियां 4 महीने और 10 दिन अपने आप को रोके रहें. तो जब वो अपनी इख्तितामी मुद्दत को पहुँच जाएं, तो ए वालियो, तुम पर इस काम में कोई हर्ज नहीं जो औरतें अपने मुआमले में शरीयत के मुताबिक कर लें, और अल्लाह तुम्हारे कामों से खबरदार है. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in this verse number 234 of Surah Al-Baqarah, the wives of men who have died, yani who have been now widowed, must observe a waiting period. This is a sarih ayat of Al-Qur'an Al-Karim. Okay? Saraha. Must observe a waiting period of 4 months and 10 days. These are obviously lunar months. 4 months and 10 days. Full. When they have reached the end of the waiting term, there is no blame upon you regarding what they may do with themselves in a manner which the Sharia has prescribed, so long as they do it within the perimeters of the Sharia. Allah is well aware of what you do. तो यहाँ पर अल्लाह रब्बुल इज़्ज़त ने यहाँ पर ये जो इद्दत बयान की 4 महीने और 10 दिन, ये उस सूरत में है कि जब शौहर का इंतकाल जो है चांद की पहली तारीख को हुआ. फ़तह रिज़वेशन में आला फरमाते हैं कि ये इस सूरत में है कि जब शौहर का इंतकाल चांद की पहली तारीख को हुआ हो, वरना औरत 130 दिन पूरे करेगी, 130 days. Okay, so let's say, so that's 3, 6, 9. We've taken the maximum 30 days. Obviously, you have each lunar number 30, 30, 30, 30. That's obviously 4 times 30, 120, plus 10. So that makes it 4 months and 10 days. So 4 months and 10 days. This month and day has been stipulated for that husband who passed away on the first day of the lunar month. If it was not that, if it was in the middle or whatever it was, then the woman must complete full 130 days. 130 days. So you may have a month consist of 29 days, so she must obviously take that into consideration, and she must complete the full 130 days. And you should also be remembered that this iddah, obviously, waiting period, is for a woman who is not pregnant. If she is pregnant, obviously, then as we mentioned to you before, her waiting period expires as soon as the child is born. Okay? And the waiting period owing to the death of the husband is obligatory even for a woman with whom consummation of marriage has not taken place. And तो यहाँ पर ये जो चंद बातें हमने यहाँ पर जिक्र की है, मज़ीद तफसील आप इस बहर शरीयत हिस्सा हश्तुम यानी हिस्सा 8 में आप मुताला कर सकते हैं। तो शौहर की वफ़ात की या तलाक़ बाइन की इद्दत गुजारने वाली दौरान इद्दत न घर से बाहर निकल सकती है, न बनाव संघार कर सकती है, खा जेवर से करे या रंगीन और रेशमी कपड़ों से या खुशबू, तेल और मेहंदी वगैरह से। अगर कोई औरत इद्दत की पाबंदियाँ पूरी न करे तो जो उसे रोकने पर कादिर है वो उसे रोके, अगर नहीं रोकेगा तो वो भी गुनहगार होगा। हाँ, जो औरत तलाक़ रजी की इद्दत में हो उसको ज़ीनत संगार करना मुस्तहब है, obviously, so that obviously the husband can revoke the divorce, talaq raj we're talking about. So as for a woman whose husband has passed away and she's in obviously the 4-month and the 10-day waiting period, or a man has pronounced the talaq ba'in, where immediately after the iddah the woman is separated, unless obviously they perform the nikah again. So then in that case, in this waiting period, the woman must not adorn herself. She should not go out of the house. She should not use any colored clothing. She should not apply fragrance or apply oil into the hair, unless obviously there's underlying medical conditions that do make it a necessary darura for her to apply oil, then that's a different case. Mehendi, obviously, henna, all these things should not be done, should not be applied. If she does not do so, if she starts going shopping, Trafford Centre, starts going out, then like these guys are imposing a lockdown on us, there should be people in the house that should impose and tell her the ruling of Islam, otherwise that person will also be sinful. As for the woman who's been given a revocable divorce, talaq raji, then it is recommended that she adorns herself so that the husband revokes the divorce. And this iddah of wafat, yani of the passing of the husband, is necessary for every widowed woman, whether she's young or she's old, whatever she may be, whether what we call in our culture rukhsati has happened or not, whether she has gone to the husband's house or not, she must obviously observe that waiting period. So to observe the waiting period does not mean merely that they should refrain from marrying, but also from self-adornment. A widow should neither wear colorful dresses and jewelry. She should not make use of henna or kuhul, yani the surma in the eye, or apply perfume, nor set her hair in an attractive style. Okay? And Sayyidina Umar, Sayyidina Uthman, Sayyidina Abdullah bin Umar, Sayyidina Zayd bin Thabit, Ibn Mas'ud, Salama, Sayyidina Sa'id ibn Musayyib, Ibrahim bin Nakha'i, Muhammad ibn Sirin, Rahimullah, and all of the A'imma Arba'ah mentioned that during the waiting period, a woman should stay in the house in which her husband died. During the daytime, she may go out to do necessary errands, but her residence should be her own home where she used to live with the husband. So the period of iddah commences from the time of death of the husband or divorce or other causes of separation. It is not in any way affected by the wife's ignorance of the fact that it had become due. Okay, so the period of iddah commences from the time of the death of her husband or the divorce. Obviously, that's a different iddah that we mentioned before. Point number 2, if the woman receives news about the divorce or the husband's death at a later stage, but within the prescribed 4 months and 10 days, then she will remain in iddah for the remaining days. Say for example, she was out and about, I don't know where she was, and there was no contact, and then after 2 weeks of the passing away of her husband, she received the news that your husband had passed away. So these 14 days will be classed as having been completed from the iddah period, so she will remain. The remainder of the days, she will be required to remain in iddah, to complete the full 4 months and 10 days, obviously with this condition that I mentioned, or 130 days if that applies. Number 3, if she does not receive any information about the divorce or the husband's death until such time when the prescribed period of iddah has already expired, then obviously no iddah shall be wished. If she did not receive any information, 4 months and 10 days, 130 days, no information whatsoever, husband had already died 4 months and 10 days before, and she didn't receive any information, obviously then, and these 4 months and 10 days have elapsed, then obviously there's no iddah on her. If a woman is not at home at the time of her husband's death, or at the time of a divorce, she should return as soon as possible and observe the iddah at home. The days of iddah are calculated from the time of the demise of her husband, not when she comes to that house. It is incumbent upon a woman and the iddah to observe it in the house where she was residing at the time of the death of her husband or the dissolution of the marriage. If the iddah becomes incumbent on a wife while on a journey, she should return to the place of her residence as soon as possible to observe her iddah. अगर बाहर हैं और ये खबर मिली है औरतों को, तो इनको जल्द अपने शौहरों के घर पे आ जाना चाहिए जिस मकान में रहते थे, और तो यहाँ पे उनको वापस आना है. तो ये चंद मसाइल हमने इद्दत के मुतालिक बयान किए थे. Another very important point that I'm just going to mention here with regards to remaining in the home during iddah. So during the period of iddah, the bereaved wife should remain in the dwelling that they occupied at the time of the demise of her husband. It is impermissible, rather unlawful, haram for her to leave this house if she has sufficient provision. Okay? If she is the sole breadwinner with no other means of the income, then only is she permitted, only then is she allowed to leave the house during the day to seek her livelihood with the condition that the ulama have mentioned. Obviously, she must return to this house before nightfall and as soon as she has completed this duty during the day. She cannot then tarry around, shopping here, then everywhere. She's in town and she started shopping, or she thinks that let's go to Trafford Centre and Mind Fresh at Moses Gate Country Park. She can't do that. It is not required that a widowed woman confines herself to a certain room or that she remains silent during the iddah. She should preferably occupy herself in the dhikr of Allah, in ibadah. She may carry out any household work. She must not indulge in any sinful activity. Okay? She may not leave the home. जो औरतें इद्दत पर होती हैं तो वो घर से नहीं निकल सकती है, ना बीमार की तीमारदारी के लिए, ना कोई रिश्तेदार को मिलने के लिए. Okay, and there's other rulings that you can obviously ask the Muftiyan Kiram, Muftiyan of the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, to provide you with the answers specific to your circumstance. Another very important point that has been mentioned, and I think it will come later on as well, it is haram. The Quran mentions in this verse here that I'm going to recite right now. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا جناح عليكم فيما عرضتم به من خطبة النساء أو أكننتم في أنفسكم علم الله أنكم ستذكرونهن ولكن لا تواعدوهن سرا إلا أن تقولوا قولا معروفا ولا تعزموا عقدة النكاح حتى يبلغ الكتاب أجله واعلموا أن الله يعلم ما في أنفسكم فاحذروه واعلموا أن الله غفور حليم. صدق الله العظيم. अल्लाह सुब्हानहु व तआला इरशाद फरमाता है, और तुम पर इस बात में कोई गुनाह नहीं जो इशारे किनाए से तुम औरतों को निकाह का पैगाम दो। इशारे किनाए से या अपने दिल में छुपा रखो। अल्लाह को मालूम है कि अब तुम उनका तस्किरा करोगे, लेकिन उनसे खुफिया वादा न कर रखो मगर ये कि शरीयत के मुताबिक कोई बात कह लो, और अक़्दे निकाह को पुख्ता न करना जब तक इद्दत का लिखा हुआ हुक्म अपनी इख्तितामी मुद्दत को न पहुँच जाए, और जान लो कि अल्लाह तुम्हारे दिल की जानता है, तो उससे डरो और जान लो कि अल्लाह बहुत बख्शने वाला हिल्म वाला है। So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in this verse, and I'm going to elaborate on this inshallah azza wa jal, there is no blame upon you whether you hint at a marriage proposal to such women. Hint, yani not explicitly, hinting. In Maulana mentioned, for example, not that the man directly approaches a woman in the period, obviously, through someone within the limits of the Sharia. This we always need to remember. Always remember, within the limits of the Sharia. This is why, after all of the explanation of the rules of divorce, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about حَافِظُوا عَلَى الصَّلَوَاتِ وَالصَّلَاةِ الْوُسْطَى. Make sure that you perform salah. Why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is the relation between the ayat of divorce and the ahkamat that have been explained and salah that comes, subhanallah, surprisingly in the middle? It means that if it is only people who observe salah and who have this connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who will truly fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in their mutual dealings. Otherwise, people who don't pray the salah, who are not God conscious, who don't have the slightest concern for the rules of Sharia, they will do whatever they want. They will transgress the limits set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and for them Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared a painful torment. So, تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ فَلَا تَعْتَدُوهَا. So, salah, if you observe salah, connect yourself with Allah subhanahu, you will become God conscious. You will have taqwa in all of your dealings, whether it's nikah, whether it's talaq, whether it's rada'a, whether it's bay'a shira, whether it's transactions, whether it's any kind of mu'amalat that you may have, dain, whatever you have, you will fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah. We're going to explain that later on. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, there is no blame upon you whether you hint at a marriage proposal to such women or keep the proposal hidden in your hearts. Allah knows that you will think of them in that connection. But do not make any secret engagement with them and speak openly in an honorable manner. Do not resolve on the marriage tie until the ordained term has come to its end. Know well that Allah knows even what is in your hearts. So fear Him and know well that Allah is all forgiving, the all forbearing. So it says here that for the wedded woman, जो औरत वफात की इद्दत में है उसका निकाह हराम है, और जो उसे हलाल समझे, आला ज़र रहमतुल्लाह फरमाते हैं कि वो काफिर है, वो दायरे इस्लाम से खारिज हो जाता है, क्योंकि उसने नस्से क़तई का इनकार किया है. Anyone who deems it permissible to perform nikah with a widowed woman comes out of the folds of Islam. That person himself must renew his own nikah if he's married, or renew his iman first and foremost, because it is a textual proof rigorously. It is textual proof, nass qat'i of Al-Qur'an, decisive textual proof of Al-Qur'an Al-Karim that is impermissible for them to do so. To deem that permissible is kufr. So explicit proposal of marriage is haram, but a male with the Sharia restrictions and within the boundaries can send a proposal implicitly and as a hint. such as he mentions here, you're a very righteous woman, tu badi nek khatun hai, वगैरह, by someone obviously, or keep his intention in the heart and does not mention it to anyone. So this is the ruling. So the Quran prohibits a direct proposal, an explicit direct proposal of the marriage to a woman observing iddah, and a man is allowed to give only a veiled hint to her of his desire to marry her. It is therefore impermissible to even propose to her or to become engaged to her while she is observing iddah. The wife who is observing iddah cannot lawfully contract a second marriage during the period of iddah. It is a kabira sin, it is a major sin. Solemnize such a marriage and even to participate in it, and anyone who deems it permissible, as I said to you before, comes out of the folds of Islam. A marriage contracted by the wife during the period of iddah shall be batil, and is not recognized in Islam. So if they recognize it, if they go ahead with it, it will be nothing but zina. وَلَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ الْعَلِيِّ الْعَظِيمِ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in verse number 236, لا جناح عليكم إن طلقتم النساء ما لم تمسوهن أو تفرضوا لهن فريضة ومتعوهن على الموسع قدره وعلى المقتر قدره متاعا بالمعروف حقا على المحسنين. अगर तुम औरतों को तलाक दे दो तो जब तक तुमने उनको छुआ न हो, ये छूने से मुराद ऑब्वियसली इस दी conjugal relations, या कोई महर न मुकर्रर कर लिया हो, तब तक तुम पर कुछ मुतालबा नहीं, और उनको एक जोड़ा बरतने को दो. उमत्तिऊहुन्ना, मालदार पर उसकी ताकत के मुताबिक और तंगदस्त पर उसकी ताकत के मुताबिक देना लाजिम है. शरई दस्तूर के मुताबिक उन्हें फ़ायदा पहुँचाओ, ये भलाई करने वालों पर वाजिब है. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in this verse of Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 236, there is no blame upon you if you divorce your wives before you have touched them, yani engage in conjugal relations or settle a bridal gift meher upon them. But even in this case, you should make some provision for them. The ulama mention that even if the husband and the wife didn't have any conjugal relations between them, or there was no khalwat sahiha. I mentioned khalwat sahiha. What is khalwat sahiha? How it is defined, okay? And when it is not regarded as khalwat sahiha, any seclusion with a woman, but obviously with the conditions that I mentioned. So even in that case, and then obviously if the husband divorces the wife before all of these things happen, then it is incumbent upon the husband to provide a joda. A joda obviously means, subhanallah, items of clothing. The upper garment and the lower garment, okay. For the affluent, they should give good quality clothing, and obviously for those who are in a straitened circumstances, then according to their own means. This is a provision in a fair manner, and that is a duty upon the good doers. और उसके बाद अल्लाह रब्बुल इज़्ज़त इरशाद फरमाता है, وَإِن طَلَّقْتُمُوهُنَّ مِن قَبْلِ أَن تَمَسُّوهُنَّ وَقَدْ فَرَضْتُمْ لَهُنَّ فَرِيضَةً فَنِصْفُ مَا فَرَضْتُمْ إِلَّا أَن يَعْفُونَ أَوْ يَعْفُوَ الَّذِي بِيَدِهِ عُقْدَةُ النِّكَاحِ وَأَن تَعْفُوا أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَنْسَوُا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. और अगर तुम औरतों को उन्हें छूने से पहले तलाक दे दो और तुम उनके लिए कुछ महर भी मुकर्रर कर चुके हो, तो जितना तुमने मुकर्रर किया था उसका आधा वाजिब है, मगर ये कि औरतें कुछ महर मुआफ़ कर दें या वो शोहर ज़्यादा दे दे जिसके हाथ में निकाह की गिरा है. और ए मर्दो, तुम्हारा ज़्यादा देना परहेज़गारी के ज़्यादा नज़दीक है. So we should not just suffice on 101 pound. Subhanallah. कुछ महर ज़्यादा भी देना चाहिए. But obviously, having said this, there is two extremes here. Obviously, sometimes the men giving less than the bare minimum. I'm not going to mention the bare minimum. You can look, ask the ulama kiram what that equates to in current value. Ashra darahim, I think. You can calculate what that amount is. That's the aqallu al-mahr. But obviously, the more the merrier. But at the same time, women should not demand, and the parents should not demand a huge 6-figure salary, a 6-figure sum for their meher. And this is why in many cases, many locations in India, Pakistan, even in Egypt when I was studying there, they used to say, for women, we have to provide our own shaqqa, our own flat. We have to put the flat on their name. We have to buy a car. We have to, subhanAllah, pay an X number of dowry. This is against, obviously, the ethics of Islam. This is why there is a zina that is rife in these places. Because people are putting hurdles for nikah. वालिदैन ये कहते हैं कि उसका बैंक बैलेंस इतना होना चाहिए, इसके बैंक बैलेंस में जो है उसका 20% यानी गुजर जो कहते हैं 20% मारू है इन्हों बैंक बैलेंस में थी मेहर जो शादी नो खर्च हो सकते ए देश है पची गाड़ी भी इन्हें मारे देवानी पची जे डाट चावल ना खर्च होते हैं टीवी मारे देवाना पास बरकत के तमे खावानी बातों बहुत obviously we do because obviously we need to the time of iftar. So all of this is absolute nonsense, and we are just making it difficult for our sons and our daughters to get married. And because of this, obviously there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that when sons and daughters become of a maritable age and the parents procrastinate, they delay, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will afflict them with a trial and tribulation. Allah will afflict them with a fitna, with an imtihan, with a bala. Okay, so we must all collectively, I've mentioned this extensively in our durus of Imam Abdul Wahab Shani Rahimullah Lawaqil Al-Qudsi. You can watch them on or listen to them on MNI Media about marriage and how to look for the characteristics in a potential partner, etc., etc., etc. So in both cases there should be mutual agreement, and we should follow the Sharia, not our whimsical desires. ये कि औरत वाले डिमांड करे शौहर वाले से बेटे से शौहर वाले से कि घर चाहिए अलग से, इनके लिए गाड़ी चाहिए, हमें भी एक गाड़ी चाहिए, हमारा किचन बना दो, हमारा लॉफ्ट बना दो, एक्सटेंशन कर दो, ये कर दो, रमज़ान में हम उम्रे के लिए जाना है, हज करना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. अरे भाई वो कहाँ से पैसे लाएगा? So can you please inshallah come to some senses, inshallah, understand the rulings of Sharia, inshallah azza wa jal. So, and if you divorce them before you touch them or engage in conjugal relations or khalwa is established, or settle a bridal gift upon them, then give them half of what you have settled, unless either the women act leniently and forego their claim. Subhanallah. And there will be obviously many women who will forego their meher, inshallah. Or he in whose hand is the marriage tie acts leniently and pays the full amount, subhanAllah. So there's ihsan from both sides. So the husband gives the full amount and gives something extra, that is also accepted. Or if the woman forgoes the meher, that is also fine. If you act leniently with ihsan, it is closer to God consciousness. Okay? Tumhara zyada dena, and for the men to give more, it is a matter of greater taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Giving more. Not just 101 pound. And forget not to act gracefully with one another, for indeed Allah sees all that you do. Allah tumhare har kaam ko dekh raha hai. We will stop in this, but I will just mention a few rulings. Inshallah, we'll continue with verse number 238. Inshallah azza wa jal, with the slides on Friday. Inshallah azza wa jal. Inshallah, as a reminder. Inshallah azza wa jal. So let me just mention a few points here. तो इस आयत में 6 चीज़ें बयान की गई है. पहली बात यह कि अगर महर मुकर्रर हो, if the महर is fixed, और औरत की करीब जाए बगैर उसे तलाक दे दी हो, तो मुकर्रर करदा महर का निस्फ यानी आधा देना पड़ेगा. For example, if the meher was fixed at 500 pounds, but there was no conjugal relations, there was no khalwat sahiha, and talaq was given, then 250 pounds will be stipulated. Half of the meher that was fixed. Agar aurat is aadhe mein se bhi kuch maaf kar de to jaiz hai. If the woman says, I forgive 50 pounds for your petrol, then that's mu'af. Okay, subhanallah, bless them all. शोहर अपनी खुशी से आधे से ज़्यादा दे दे तो भी जायज़ है. If the man says, no, I'm a man, I want to act like a man, and then he gives the 500 pounds, subhanallah, that is all meritorious and good, he will be rewarded for that, inshallah. शोहर अपनी खुशी से आधे से ज़्यादा देना, शोहर का अपनी खुशी से आधे से ज़्यादा देना, so in this case giving more than 250 pounds, is more close to God consciousness. कि बीवी को तलाक देने के बावजूद कोई ज़्यादती करने के बजाय एहसान से पेश आने, in spite of separation, subhanallah, he is extending a favor to the divorced wife. अल्लाह ताला का हुक्म है कि अगर छह मियाँ बीवी में जुदाई हो रही हो तब भी आपस में एहसान करना ना भूलो. This is Islam, that even though you are separated, don't turn into enemies, still have this ihsan on one another. यानी तलाक के बाद आपस में कीना अदावत ना हो. Okay, let there not be any, as I said, malicious propaganda against one another. Character defamation on Twitter. She did this and he did this and she didn't do this and he didn't do this and we've ended up like this and we've ended up like this. Stop stirring my life. This is what's happened. Allah subhanahu condemns this in Al-Qur'an Al-Karim. इस्लामी और क़राबत के हुकूक़ का लिहाज रखा जाए, इसमें हुस्न सुलूक और मकारिम अखलाक की तरगीब है. आयत के आखिर में अल्लाह ताला ने यह भी फरमा दिया कि अल्लाह ताला तुम्हारे आमाल देख रहा है, यानी इस तसव्वुर व एतिक़ाद को हर वक्त ज़हन नशी रखो ताकि तुम जुल्म व ज़्यादती से बचो और फजल व एहसान की तरफ माइल रहो. अल्लाह सुब्हानहु व तआला, even with the divorced people, separated spouses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows exactly what you're doing. Whether you are filing a case against your spouses unjustly, Allah knows that. Whether you are violating their rights and harming them in terms of the custody of the children, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows this. Okay, don't think that you will be able to go away with this very easily. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala तुम्हारे हर मामले को देख रहा है, इसलिए इसको ज़हन नशी रखो ताकि तुम्हारे आपस के दरमियान में फजल व एहसान का मामला बदस्तूर कायम रहे. अगर इन दोनों के दरमियान तलाक वाक़ई हो, फिर भी अल्लाह ताला फरमा रहा है कि दोनों के दरमियान एहसान का मामला होना चाहिए. तो फरमाता है यहाँ पर इतनी इस्लाम की कितनी प्यारी तालीम है कि तलाक कितनी शदीद होती है, कितना शदीद मामला होता है कि उमूमन दोनों फरीक में जज्बे इंतकाम पैदा हो जाता है और जज्बे इंतकाम में दोनों अंधे हो जाते हैं, एक दूसरे को जान से मार देने की ख्वाहिशमंद होते हैं. लेकिन अल्लाह ताला यहाँ पर भी आपस में हुस्न सुलूक की तालीम दे रहा है. अल्लाह अकबर. इसमें खुसूसन मर्द को ज़्यादा ताकीद है क्योंकि ज़्यादा ईज़ा आम तौर पर मर्द और उसके ख़ानदान की तरफ से होती है. यानी इवन इन दिस critical moment of divorce, separation, where both parties want to give their 100% to seek revenge, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, no, you need to have a balance, you need to have ihsan with one another, look after one another, have ihsan with one another. This is the beautiful ta'aleem, teaching of Islam. Allah ta'ala hum sabko is par amal karne ki tawfiq ata farmaye. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum wa li sa'il mu'minin wa mu'minat innahu rahibun kareemun wadudul arshil majid. Allah ta'ala हम सबको इन आयत बैनात को समझने और इस पर अमल करने की तौफीक अता फरमाए. व मा अलैया इल्लल बलाग. अब इंशाअल्लाह दुआ होगी. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد معدن الجود والكرم وآله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. جزا الله عنا سيدنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وبارك وسلم ما هو أهله. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد صلاة تنجينا بها من جميع الأهوال والآفات وتقضي لنا بها جميع الحاجات وتطهرنا بها من جميع السيئات وترفعنا بها عندك على درجات وتبلغنا بها أقصى الغايات من جميع الخيرات في الحياة وبعد الممات إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم ربنا افرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم إني أسألك العافية، اللهم إني أسألك تمام العافية، اللهم إني أسألك دوام العافية. اللهم عافني في بدني، اللهم عافني في سمعي، اللهم عافني في بصري. لا إله إلا أنت. اللهم إني أسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة والفوز بالجنة والنجاة من النار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. اللهم أجرني من النار، 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 اللهم أجرني من النار. اللهم أعتق رقابنا ورقاب آبائنا وأمهاتنا من النار. حسبي الله لديني، حسبي الله لدنياي، حسبي الله لمعاشي، حسبي الله لمن حسدني، حسبي الله لمن بغى علي، حسبي الله لمن كادني بسوء، حسبي الله عند المسألة في القبر، حسبي الله عند الحشر والنشر والميزان، حسبي الله عند الصراط، حسبي الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. إن ولي الله الذي نزل الكتاب وهو يتولى الصالحين. يا الله يا الله يا الله يا أحد يا واحد يا موجود يا جواد يا باسط يا كريم يا وهاب يا ذا الطول يا غني يا مغني يا فتاح يا رزاق يا عليم يا حكيم يا حي يا قيوم يا بديع السماوات والأرض يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا حنان يا منان. نفحنا منك بنفحة خير تغننا بها عمن سواك. إن تستفتحوا فقد جاءكم الفتح. إنا فتحنا لك فتحا مبينا. نصر من الله وفتح قريب. اللهم يا غني يا حميد يا مبدي يا معيد يا رحيم يا ودود يا ذا العرش المجيد يا فعال لما يريد، اكفنا بحلالك عن حرامك، اكفني بحلالك عن حرامك، وأغنني بفضلك عمن سواك، واحفظنا بما حفظت به الذكر، وانصرنا بما نصرت به الرسل، إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم رب الناس أذهب البأس واشفي أنت الشافي لا شافي إلا أنت الشفاء لا يغادر سقما. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت، وعافنا فيمن عافيت، وتولنا فيمن توليت، وقنا شر ما قضيت، فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك، إنه لا يعز من عاديت ولا يذل من واليت، تباركت ربنا وتعاليت. اللهم إني عبدك وابن عبدك وابن أمتك، ناصيتي بيدك، ماض في حكمك، عادل في قضاؤك. أسألك بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك أو أنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحد من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك، أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا وجلاء أحزاننا وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من أن نشرك بك شيء نعلمه ونستغفرك لما لا نعلمه. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من أن نشرك بك شيء نعلمه ونستغفرك لما لا نعلمه. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من أن نشرك بك شيئا نعلمه ونستغفرك لما لا نعلمه. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الهم والحزن، وأعوذ بك من العجز والكسل، وأعوذ بك من الجبن والبخل، وأعوذ بك من غلبة الدين وقهر الرجال. اللهم أحسن ختامنا وتوفنا على كلمة لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم يا رب بجاه نبيك المصطفى ورسولك المرتضى طهر قلوبنا من كل وصف يباعدنا عن مشاهدتك ومحبتك، وأمتنا على السنة والجماعة والشوق إلى لقائك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. آمين 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 يا رب العالمين. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه ونور عرشه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. इफ्तार का वक्त हो चुका है। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। बिस्मिल्लाहि व अला बरकतिल्लाह।